Zerg army at that moment or kill the hatch. This brings us to our third map, though, which will be on Altrazim. An interesting map for Protoss to choose.
What does Deer have in store for us here? I'm under the impression, once he saw that that was the map pick for Soulkey, he probably thought, well, I'll just do a weird strat and hope this works, you know?
Yeah.
Almost did. I do like what you said, though, about just time warping back. That would have been nice. Time warp back, take a third,
yeah.
Keep upgrading.
You know, kill the hatch. He's killed so many harvesters, too, and then just go back home. Well, Altrazim is a huge map, and Deer already won a pretty long game on Polar Knight. Maybe he just feels confident against Soulkey in the late game, just keeping him on his toes with Phoenix harassment. Phoenix is pretty good on this map. It's a big map.
Sure.
Phoenixes are fast. And then just plan that Stargate tech in the late game and just outdoing Soulkey. It's basically what you saw. I mean, Soulkey's played pretty Hydra heavy in both games, and this map is huge, so Hydras are less effective.
Man, what do you think? I'm still saying Deer's going to take this.
I feel Soulkey has a slight edge.
It is a weird map pick with Altrazim.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like this really could go either way. I was originally saying Soulkey. Deer's playing better than he did in the round of 32, but I give like the slightest edge to Soulkey here. He has so much experience in televised matches, especially recently. Deer's basically only playing in the GSL right now.
Well, the game has now loaded up. Again, the winner goes on to face off against one of the only Terrans here, Maru, in the winner's match here. Soulkey, the best Zerg in the world, against Deer, one of the most recent Protoss champions. Who will win? We're going to see momentarily here at the GSL Code S.
2014 Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Round 16 Soulkey versus Deer.
Okay, so they're both hugging the right side of the map.
Yes.
Whoop, pause.
Uh-oh.
Pause.
It's paused by the Korean observer, so...
What's going on?
I don't know. Sometimes this happens where like one player doesn't have their headsets on, like their noise blocker, but looks like they both do, so... my guess here is that maybe there was a problem with even the computer PC, the Korean PC. It was lagging or something. They just want to make sure that they get that sorted before we go into the game.
Game resumed.
Well, sounds like
Did
it's
you hear
resumed.
that? Game resumed, all right. That was the third caster here.
Yeah. Our
she never talks, but you heard her. Yeah, we know now the game's resumed. So we have. I assume the game's. We're just gonna get right back into this. Okay.
yeah, so a little bit of a stutter there for some reason. We don't know why, but it doesn't look like it was a very big issue.
You know, yeah. If one of the observer PCs starts to have a problem, then it's just. I mean, we can't watch the game, guys. So it's pretty important.
For sure. We actually have a gate first here for Deer. That's interesting. Usually see players go Nexus first into like a forge on the high ground. This could actually catch Soulkey off guard if Soulkey's playing super greedy. He even takes gas. He's not going to go like gate Nexus, you know, core type gas play like we saw earlier. I wonder what he's got planned here. He also could just be trying to be super safe here, but that wouldn't be what I would think you'd do on your map pick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge map, 4-player map where you have a backdoor expansion. So to use Gateway defensively just feels unnecessary. Obviously, it still gives you more aggressive timings.
Some funky all-ins here from Protoss. Since you can negate the distance with Warp Gate.
Yeah.
And just try to get in there and attack him early on.
What he's going to do here? I mean, Soulkey still hasn't scouted the right location yet. His Overlord is on the right way.
And this is because he scouted cross spots first. I mean, it's going to be a while before he can actually get and see if the Protoss is going to do anything surprising. I mean, the Overlord is getting close, but it's obviously not a quick unit. Spawning pool now started, and we still don't have a Nexus yet.
He's going to drop one here.
All right, there we go.
So he just has really fast tech with this. So he plays greedy in the sense that he gets a Nexus out early, but at the same time still has that quicker Cybernetics core, and therefore can add either a Stargate faster Warp Gate research. It looks like it's going to be a Stargate here, I believe. This has not added that Warp Gate just yet. There it goes.
Okay, so we got Warp Gate on the way here. Think we're going to have a 2-base timing or anything like that?
I mean, he certainly could put on some 2-base pressure with this very fast Cybernetics core tech.
You know, when you're playing on maps this big, the problem for the Protoss is that it's difficult in late game to really push all the way across the map. Zerg with the Zerglings can just run around you.
Yeah.
And you know, attack into your third or your main even, or anywhere really. So you know, the Protoss ends up getting pulled back over and over and over again. By then, you know, the Zerg has too many bases, too many options. They got into a state that you should have never let them be in.
Yeah.
And it's usually nearly impossible to stop them from there. So a lot of times on big maps like this, whether it's a Terran or a Protoss against a Zerg, there's some sneaky strat they're going to try to pull off so that they don't have to deal with late game or end game.
Yeah. Wonder if he's going to get +1 with this, with that Forge. And, I mean, he's going to have to chrono boost that a lot if he wants us to line up with his Warp Gate. Could also just take a fast third here with his Forge, add gateways around his Nexus, make a cannon, like a little wall around there with the gates. Would be a fine choice. And I think we might sit. Yeah, the Nexus is being dropped right now. There's a really good scout here by Soulkey in the main, and also he has a Zergling over there. Sees that the Nexus is being dropped. I wonder how he's going to respond here.
Now, we've seen a lot of, for both races here, focus on Sky units.
Yeah.
They want to get, for instance, Zergs, if you get a ton of mutas, the Protoss can't really do a lot. They can make some Phoenixes try to fight them off, but sometimes players with very good muta micro could still win. And of course, you can just get Corruptors with that to fight the Phoenixes as well. So sometimes, because of that, we see Protoss try to preempt that and start getting their own air army very early on to fight them.
Yeah, a ton of Zerglings being made by Soulkey right now. He really wants to punish this before the cannons are set up. There's no wall on that cannon. He wants to make a gateway there.
He needs to get a gateway.
He doesn't know the Zerglings are coming
from?
either. Oh, he wants to get up here in the main base, I suppose, but I think this Nexus is for certain lost. Or cancel it. He's going to have to cancel it, you know? Like,
yeah, and then that's going to put Soulkey in a very neat position.
A lot of force shields here. He's actually just going to engage the sentries, and he's going to get 1, 2, 3.
Oh my god, that's actually just too many.
Yeah, and then he can still get the Nexus afterwards.
Ah!
Trying to go for the main base here. With the Nexus cannon, I think that base could be defended. He's going to have to decide either to defend the main base or the third base with that cannon, though. He doesn't have an ability to do both.
Yeah. A bold move here by Soulkey. Now, he did... looks like that was shut down there. I got to say, that was a bold move to try to go into the main because he could have gotten the Nexus.
Yeah. And
that would have probably put him in a better spot.
Because he committed so much to the Zerglings, and now he's only a few Harvesters ahead. Would have ideally liked to have more.
We've got Deer actually going for DTs. That's interesting.
Not something that you expect could catch him off guard. And there's the Nexus cannon going down, even pulls his probes away.
So he forces that to occur, and then he runs away, trying to keep the Mothership core energy low for when that next possible attack from the Zerg that could work, the Nexus cannon won't be available.
Yeah. Double Evo Chamber going up back at home for Soulkey as he gets his Roach Warren up, his lair is finishing, so all of the infrastructure that he would have liked to have earlier is starting to fill in now. And he's got a 4th base going up that's really far away from the Protoss and difficult to engage. But if DTs find it, it becomes a totally different story. But, I mean, can he really even get DTs out there? He doesn't have a Warp Prism right now. His Robo's on the way, but you could warp in a DT at this pylon, but it means the chances of being speened by a Zergling is much higher, and also it's going to take a lot longer to walk across the map. But again, it's a very surprising tactic, and it might catch Soulkey off guard here. Just trying to do some more damage here as the cannon was offline for a second. All right, let's see about these DTs. Its Shrine is done. And where does he warp them in? How many? Oh, did he actually get a pylon up here? Oh, it's scouted.
It was spotted. It wouldn't hurt to actually make a second one. See if that one would not be spotted then.
Yeah, well, he's...
Drone transfer happening now.
Sending those DTs over now from that other pylon, and...
This is so nice, because he could send them to each location and start to just hit drones.
Yeah, see that one over here is being morphed right now is not going to be enough. He's going to need 3 probably, perhaps even 4. To deal with all of these.
Why is he getting the hatchery? He should be getting the drones.
Oh, yeah, that was a bit sloppy, but regardless, only the Queen here to defend. He might kill that. The DTs need to be targeted better.
He needs to babysit these DTs just a little bit more. Now, because if he does enough damage at each of these bases, I mean, that is enough to really cripple the Zerg. But again, he's just not. He needs to be shift-clicking with these DTs here.
Now he's doing it.
Now he's doing it.
Yeah, a lot of damage done here this time. 4 kills. And he actually is going to go for this hatch. There's nothing here. He's killed so many Queens, too. Soulkey is falling apart a little bit here right now. This is a huge commitment of gas for Deer, but if he kills this hatch and all those drones that he got plus the queen, I think it pays off for him.
Okay, now he needs to book it. No, too late. But those DTs, what? Okay.
He's like, I'll let you kill the Brewlings and then I'll kill you.
Soulkey's like so fast, he didn't kill the DTs, he like damaged him and then ran for it. Okay, well he did a solid amount of damage there. And now he has a Warp Prism coming up here. We don't see that the Zerg has anything just yet to combat that Warp Prism.
Yeah, but he spots it and he's going to send like, looks like one Roach and a few Zerglings over there.
You know what he can do is he can try to attack up towards the front here and then use the Warp Prism later on.
Yeah, and you can also use the Warp Prism while these units are away. Do a big warp in if he's defending this. And here we go. Force fields to deny the Roaches, and there's enough DPS here to help deal with those Zerglings. Where is he recalling to? Wow.
Yeah, right over there. No, that was a good move.
Yeah. It stops his DPS for a little while, though, and the Roaches are going to work on these cannons, starting to pick off those Zealots, but there's too much Protoss here. Gonna have to back up and regroup. Gonna have Burrow movement soon as well.
You don't have those Zealots in that control group.
Nice contaminate here to stop that Colossus from coming out.
Yeah, just barely stopping that from coming out.
And he's just trading against these Zealots really well. He's saying, you know, you committed so much gas to DTs. I know you don't have AoE right now. I know you don't have Immortals, and I'm going to fight your Gateway army. And
you know, with those force fields though, and these Stalkers, you should be able to take care of the rest of these Roaches here. Are they going to try to get to the main?
Yeah, looks like they're going to get in here. Meanwhile, great position on these.
They already were some in the main.
And
this is similar to what we saw with the DT harass here from Deer.
It's just running circles around them.
Same idea. Just have the Roaches hit all these different locations and see if the Protoss can actually juggle this many tasks. I mean, it's not just about getting there and fighting them off. They burrow, so you need to make sure that there's an observer over there, which is that you know, clunky, slow-moving unit.
Yeah, and if you have to make more observers, then you have to spend more robo time. So
yeah, you're not making Colossi or Immortals then.
Looks like we'll finally clean all of these up. Upgrade-wise, there's a huge disparity between these two. +3 finishes here for Deer, whereas for Soulkey, he's only halfway done with +1. So that's part of the reason why defending this Roach army is looking pretty good for him. These Stalkers just do so much damage now. They have that +3, the Colossus as well. And he may even blink and chase this down because he knows he has that huge upgrade lead. And Soulkey's army is starting to become a bit like less relevant because he just doesn't have any additional tech. He's starting that Spire now.
He's going for the Spire, so he's going to have a ton of mutas that are going to pop out here. And that's what you got to be worried about. That's why he's only mining gas from that 4th base. 4-base only muta is very scary. And also, you know, Stargate units were neglected in this opening here. So when he gets all these mutas out, there's not a lot that Protoss could do, which is, again, I think why you and I were both very confused when we saw him open up like this, or actually no, even pick this map.
Yeah.
Even more so.
Well, let's see. I mean, this Protoss army is maybe even going to force the Mutalisk to defend, or maybe an elimination race, because this army is so strong right now. It's so far across the map, too. He's trying to catch these Roaches, and with 16 mutas on the way, he doesn't really have...
See, the fact that he's having to turn around here concerns me, because by the time Protoss can defend this expansion, there's going to be so many lost... or there's going to be so many mutas here that there's not as much that he can actually do to ever push back out again. Let's see, though. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
The Roaches were a part of that counterattack, but they turned around when they saw they'd be in a bad position if they stayed there.
He's going to eliminate some queens here.
I like the fact that he brought the Zealots with the DT, hoping that maybe he just noticed the Zealots and then not see that there was a DT there.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool tactic. This is not enough Stalkers here. He's desperately trying to defend at home with a few units. Well, he's looking like he's going to commit to the big attack here, and we are going to have that elimination race. 23 Mutalisks on the map, and now, a ton of Roaches as well, 24.
Now here's what the Zerg wants to do. The Zerg wants to mine for as long as humanly possible. Oh, sick. He did pull back here, but that does put the Zerg again in a bit of an advantage because he can continue to make mutas, he can continue to fly around. Ooh. He's doing lots of damage. I don't know what the story with that Colossus is. I guess he didn't have that in the group when he needed to recall that.
I guess he missed the recall, but I mean, the Colossus somehow trading gets his Zerglings okay? Not anymore, though.
Well, we have air weapons for Zerg being upgraded. In fact, that upgrade's nearly complete. And there's just going to be a very big, scary muta death ball. The problem for Protoss is if Protoss tries to leave his base, the mutas can come in there and do a ton of damage.
Yeah, especially on a big map like this.
And then come back and defend the main. Or just whatever's back there for the Zerg, back at his base. So this is where it gets tough. But, you know, Deer is a very crafty player. He might still be able to pull this off. But most Protoss players would probably end up losing in this spot.
Well, he's been able to build a very large Stalker count at 41, and he's kept the Mutalisk count pretty small. he has to keep in mind those roaches as well, and he's continuing to harass with these DTs. He knows there's no detection at home, there's no static defenses up over here, and he's going to kill the queen again, which further eliminates larva production. And, I mean, there's an overseer here, but so what if there's no units?
Nicely done.
Catching these roaches. They only have +1 versus the +3 blink stalkers, which are doing so much here.
You got to remember that the roaches are actually quite important. Combined with the mutas, because that's two groups units that can counterattack. And my God, I can't believe he didn't actually take care of that DT.
Yeah.
But the mutas are going to come in here and punish the Protoss for even thinking about leaving his base. And this is how Zerg essentially stapled the Protoss to their base while Zerg gets to rule the map. So it looks like we should have the base trade occurring once again. I don't believe we're going to have a Mothership Core recall.
He's got a lot of stalkers here, and yeah, there's a lot of Mutalisks, but can he really afford to trade these Mutalisks that are so expensive in gas right now? The rest of the stalkers are coming back.
You know what? You might be right. In fact, Deer might still be able to pull this off because it's only 16 mutas left. And judging from the stalkers back at home, as well as Soulkey's mismanagement of the 4th, he never kept the 4th alive.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, well, that is a lot of spine crawlers. Maybe I should hold my breath here.
Well, I mean, also consider that I don't think there are any probes escaped on the map, so he can't make any additional structures. There's one pylon, it looks like?
There's something at the bottom or middle left of the map.
I think that's a pylon.
No, the one that's moving.
Oh,
in the red.
I'm not sure. Well, let's give it some time here.
Yeah, we could check later. But you might be right, though, Wolf. There might not be anything else on the map that can help him out, really. Okay, so he did take out the spine crawlers there. So it's stalkers versus mutas right now, both very mobile units as they're trying to wipe out the existence of any structures of the opposing race on the map.
Yeah, the Spire's going to go down here first, and that means no more Mutalisks can be made, even though he has 1,000 or 100 gas, 1,000 minerals. He's trying to catch these drones because he knows if he can kill those, then he knows a Zerg player can't hide any more extractors. There are 4 probes left on the map, and
15 mutas total.
Yeah, 30 stalkers, still 4 DTs as well. If he can eliminate the overseers, then maybe he can just kill the structures. There's no detection.
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
Here's something else to keep in mind. If he kills off the last hatch in these drones, he can actually... Wait, no, that's the last Nexus. I was going to say he can recall there. Now, is he going to do that, though? There goes one hatch. Is he going to recall?
He's going to make a choice soon.
I mean, maybe he does not have the energy. We don't have a preview PC here this season, guys. So,
yeah, and this Extractor, of course, will die. The hatch as well. Extractor is the only Zerg unit that won't bleed out over time without creep. So, the only base he's got left is that hatchery. It's the only structure as far as I can tell here.
He is planning on making an Nexus somewhere, and it's going to be at the upper left.
So, I mean, that is literally the last Zerg structure, as you guys can see. That one that's building there. There's a lot more Protoss left on the map, and he does have a DT to kill the last drone. I think it's the last drone. No, there's 2 drones left. One of them has been chased down here.
1 probe, 2 drones.
I think
all that remain.
I think Soulkey wins this, but
no, I think Deer can win this.
I'm sorry, I meant to say Deer. I don't know why I said Soulkey there. The Protoss can win this
because the stalker count's just too high.
If he snipes the overseers too, then that's just game because he's not going to have any detection deal with the DTs. He still has enough overlords on the map to make additional overseers, but that's just something to keep in mind.
Right now, I don't know if there's anything Soulkey can do.
All right, well, he's catching these roaches away from the Mutalisks, which is already a great head start for him here. And if the Mutalisks arrive, it's 15 Mutalisks to 26 Stalkers. He needs the Colossus support, though. And with the Colossus support here, I think
he's going to have to tap out. And he's going to have no more Overseers, so no more detection here. Zerg is back to the Stone Age here with Tech on hatch only. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think
he hasn't found either the Nexus. So
now, wait a minute. He still has 1 probe alive, right?
Yeah,
he has to mine. He has to mine in order to make probes to fundamentally have the economy. Oh God, that drone barely got away. He needs to get 50 minerals so he can keep getting probes out.
Yeah, it's taken him a little while, but
Zerg with 2 hatches here, and actually a lot more in the bank. So the moment that hatch finishes, he can start getting drones out, getting the spawning pool, rebuilding his tech. This is the hardest part of StarCraft 2. StarCraft 1 as well, is it's very difficult to recuperate. Because this is each game is there are more snowflakes than there are games like this that can occur.
Yeah, that's true.
So each one requires different handling. You end up with a very specific amount of units. It's kind of like one of those Imagine the hardest single-player mission ever. The humans don't even know how to make it that hard. Like
That's
where you
basically
don't
what this
really
is.
have an economy. You're just running around with a small number of units, but you got to try to read your opponent. Every unit matters. You can send out false information.
That drone is dead, and that means no. There's actually he made a few more drones, so he's up to 7 more.
Okay. He's about to spot the Protoss' Nexus with these Overlords.
Yeah. Then he's just going to go and target it down.
And even if he loses these Overlords, by the way, he's not going to be supply blocked. There's a DT getting that bottom or mid left base, right? There's no extractors. Am I correct about this?
I think you're right. There's something over there.
Yep. He's
no,
it's a stalker. Okay.
And with no
But
spawning pool,
there's still 2 DTs. Oh man, that is some sneakery.
he barely mined enough money to get that out. And I mean, this is still a game that Soulkey could possibly win. He's going to kill the last of these two structures.
Yep. There's some the original tech actually at the bottom center. The core and the gateway are still down there. Now he's going to get this hatchery. The question is, can Protoss find the other hatchery, which is completely in a unthinkable location? I mean,
yeah, it's going to be really tough.
He's getting that hatchery simply because he doesn't want to lose. Even if I think he loses most of these Overlords, he's not going to be supply blocked.
Yeah, he doesn't really care about these Overlords for a while until his economy restarts. With no drones on the map, it's going to be a while. Like he's going to be able to make one drone in a second.
Now Protoss is beginning to rebuild.
And the Protoss is starting to realize as well, like
he needs the problem for the Protoss is he needs a lot of pylons, and see he's lost all these pylons. So Protoss is stuck on one probe. So like, okay, yes, hypothetically, if this game were to go on for a few more hours, because that somehow happened, Protoss could eventually, with this one probe, mine enough minerals to make all the pylons to make enough space that he can actually begin to make probes again. But for the time being. And that's like super theoretical, like if we go that deep in this game.
But something he knows, too, is he's checked every single base with his DTs, so he knows that Soulkey is not on any base that mines.
The way I'm seeing this is it's a matter of time before he loses the game. Soulkey loses the game because the DTs could eventually, sniff out that one hatchery.
Yeah.
Oh, there's actually an Overseer here, excuse me.
Yeah, he does have that.
I actually had not, I'm sorry, I had not noticed that. There was actually the one Overseer.
Okay, he found it.
Oh!
That should be...
Leave it to me. Oh, wait, no, he's going to get killed.
Oh, he killed the drone, though. And that means there's no more drones because he doesn't have any drones on the map, and he can't mine anymore. So that's going to be the last structure. But still, Deer doesn't know that. There could be another hatchery on the map maybe he hasn't found yet. Oh,
guys,
the Nexus Cannon.
Thank your lucky stars for Nexus Cannon existing.
He's trying to kill that last Overseer. And is he going to get it? No. Still one DT on the map.
Leave it to me.
Wow, and he's fighting this Mutalisk army that's pretty substantial.
The Stalkers with the +3 attack are so scary for these Mutas right now. I don't believe there was ever any air armor made here, so...
The DT over here is going to go to work on that hatchery. It's just too many Stalkers. GG.
6 series, man.
Wow.
6 series.
6 series indeed, and Deer playing very well today. Kind of funky map pick, but... seems to be back in form today, and he beats the best Zerg player in the world.
I'm impressed. That was a treat to cast. So far, we've had great best threes. Not even halfway through today's games.
Yeah. Well, certainly a fun last game there, especially.
Well, I think that when you have base trades or just that ending chess game of just a few units remaining, it's so much fun because you really get to see how do these guys actually handle everything.
Yeah,
when
especially
it's something
because
that you don't get to practice very much at all.
Yeah, especially because we can see everything, but they can't, and so we know exactly what's going on, but they
hardest form of StarCraft II, by far.
It's the type of game you see the least, and every single one is different. I really like what you said. There are more different types of snowflakes than.
No, there are more types. End game like that base trade, more types of games you can have like that than there are snowflakes.
Yeah, okay, that's...
And they base that off no mathematical or statistical information whatsoever, but that's what I feel.
It's a great quote. I like that.
We're going to go to a short little break. When we come back, we're going to have our winners match and see who's going to be the first player in Group B to move on to the round of 8.